All his productions and remixes have become hits without exceptions and are staying in the Beatport charts. Clear as daylight since they are all outstanding bangers. For the next hour, directly from England, Mr. Adam Ellis.
Hi, this is Adam Ellis, and we're here in Zurich for Next Universe, and I cannot wait.
So, Adam, how you doing today?
Good, thank you. Really good.
How does it feel to be in Switzerland?
Yeah, great. Yeah, I've never been before, and it's special to be here for me, seeing new cities and new places. So yeah, really.
What can people expect from your set tonight?
A lot of new tracks for myself, uplifting trance with an edge, and upfront club music. Yeah.
We go back right now a little bit over a year. A lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah, a lot's happened. It's been a crazy year, and but I'm taking it in my stride, and I'm using it to my advantage, and moving forward, and just building on what I've already achieved, and just taking it from there, really.
I know you went from playing to playing to 150 people to playing to 9,000, right? In Argentina, right?
It was actually playing to about 10 people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the gig was all right, but it was a promoter that's trying to get a scene going. It's hard work in England, but yeah, one weekend it was 10 people. The next, I think it was around 9,000 in Argentina. Yeah, so crazy experience.
How would you describe being on stage and being able to play your own tracks in front of people and they actually react to the tracks and they know the tracks?
It's hard to say. It's very hard to explain, but for me, it's the best feeling in the world, and it's a very. I'm extremely honoured to be able to do it, and I'm proud of myself for working hard over the last 6 years to get to that stage, and it's an amazing feeling, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I know it will, because I'm hearing your tracks, so I hear you're pretty strong in what you're doing. If we talk about Napalm Poet, it took about, the track itself didn't take 3 years to finish, right? But you sort of learned to produce it 3 years, right?
I started producing in 2007, did that until around 2009, making new tracks, and I said to myself, there's no point in keep making new tracks. I'm not going to make a new track until it's ready to be signed to by a big label. And in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea, because you get bogged down by one track. It's 20 new producers out there. I would say, finish a track, move on. Finish a track, move on. That's the best way to improve. But for myself, I said to myself, I'm not going to make a new track until I've got this one done. And it took around 3 years until I got the confidence and the ability to do so production-wise, and in the end that was Napalm Poet. So for 3 years I hadn't finished a track, and the end result was Napalm Poet, and it paid off in the end. But for new producers, I would say, do a track to the best of your ability, and finish it and move on, because that's the best way to improve, I think, looking back.
We look at Napalm Poet. What were the final touches? Do you remember, the final touch to the track?
Yeah, I made that track in headphones and on a laptop. And I look back now, and I sent that to Brian, and he didn't ask for any changes. He was like, "This is exactly what I'm looking for." And I'm doing tracks now a year later, and my sound is a lot better. If you listen to my tracks, you can hear my progression over the last year. Yet, with tracks now, I get asked for changes by the labels or by the guy that masters my track. He helps me out. It's quite interesting, I find, that Napalm Poet I did in headphones on a laptop, and it got accepted straight away. And now I'm still tweaking my sound. But yeah, the final touches, I guess, was showing my friends. Really important to me, getting their approval. I'm quite conscious about that, because I value their opinion quite a lot. And just making it the best I could. And I sent it to Brian with my fingers crossed. I didn't have a clue how he'd react. And when he messaged me back saying this is what he wanted for his label, just one of the best moments in my life, because I'd strived for that for 5 or 6 years. So to finally get it was unbelievable.
And I know Brian is a big inspiration for you.
Yeah, massive. I mean, what can I say? Like, he took a chance with Napalm Poet. He's got a great ear, and he knew it was a good track, more so than myself. And if it wasn't for Brian, I wouldn't be where I am now. At the end of the day, he really pushed me, and he continues to push me. And I mean, who in the trance scene doesn't look up to him? He's worked hard to get where he's at, and look where he is now. He's massive, and he's just going to continue to grow. And he's an inspiration to anyone, I think, in the scene that makes the kind of music I do. And I'd always strive to follow in his footsteps, so to speak. I mean, we produce different type of music, but yeah, he's just built and built and built, and he's continued to get bigger and bigger.
And he's a fantastic guy too, upon that too.
Great guy, he's a nice guy, and like he's someone that will tell you the truth, and at times it might be harsh, but he's only doing it to help you. And when you look back at it and you analyse the situation, it's obvious to see that he wants to help you. And if he didn't give you the feedback that he gives you, he probably wouldn't want to help you out. The fact that he's honest and he gives me honest feedback that sometimes is hard to take. He's turned down tracks of mine in the last year, but at the end of the day, it makes me a better producer. So I'd rather have that honesty than not have it, and I'd rather have that throughout my whole career.
Now, I read somewhere that you produced a track under 4 hours recently, right?
To be honest with you, like, yeah, if I get an idea, I can smash a track fast. Literally, I can get the solid foundations of a track fast. But don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of time on it. I don't like to rush tracks. I think there's no need to rush. Anyone that produces a track in a day is either an absolute genius, and there's probably a few of them in the scene, Activa, Dave Parkinson, probably Will Atkinson, I should imagine, that are super talents, that are just naturally ridiculously gifted. Myself, I can get the foundations of a track down really fast, but I spend longer getting the little details right. Some tracks I do really fast, some take me a month. It depends, like, it's weird. It depends on my confidence at the time as well. For instance, I signed a track to Monster Tunes just before Christmas, and after that, I found that my flow on tracks was really fast, and the confidence I got from signing a new original, it gave me a real boost in the studio. But for instance, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I was having a hard time with a remix, and it took me a month to do a remix. So it just depends. It depends on my confidence at the time, and every track's different, and yeah, I think it will always be like that.
What does the workflow look like in the studio?
Every track's different. Normally I start with the beats, so I'll literally start at the start of the track, move on, choose the key of the track. I'm not sure which key, it depends. Lately I've been trying to work on the melody first, trying to get a real good hook. Once I find that, which takes a long time, then I'll work backwards on myself. But each track's different, and the main thing for me at the moment is trying to change it up. I don't want to start becoming. I don't want to be too I don't want to stick to a formula. I want to be different, and I want to try new tracks. And at the minute, I'm just finding my feet in the studio. So all you've heard from me at the minute is like fast, uplifting, maybe a bit of techie elements. But once I do find my feet, I will experiment. And I said in a recent interview, if you look at Ali Feeler, Brian Carney, Schneider, John O'Callaghan, these guys are known for the 140 stuff, but they've all got tracks in the repertoire which are slower, and it shows that they're diverse, and I want to be like that as well. I want to prove to myself that I'm a musician and not just a guy that can make one style of trance. I don't want to be known for just one style, but at the minute I'm finding my feet, I'm trying to prove myself, and yeah, I'll take it from there, but I will start being a little more diverse once I prove myself in this style.
I'm super excited to hear this.
Yeah.
That you're gonna keep pushing.
Take a while, yeah, but I'm not going to stick to one style because that's why I love trance. I love 140 banging trance, but I like slower stuff as well, like Super 8 and Tab. Yeah. Like a lot of their slow stuff is brilliant. The Blizzard, Collapsia, one of my favourite ever tunes. And yeah, I don't want to be known for one style, but at the minute I'm going to really just find my feet, take my time, maybe another 6 months, a year, keep pushing this sound, and when I feel confident enough, I'll start doing some slower stuff. But don't get me wrong, the faster stuff will always be at the forefront, and I'll never change that.
I know people will be happy to hear that. It's always going to be there, right?
It's the best for me. It's what I'm all about. It gets me going more than anything, and I can't see myself ever moving away from that. But I guess everyone says that, don't they, when they start out? But I like to believe that for the minute. It's in my heart.
Yeah, it's funny actually because I can even see the passion that you have for the music and for what you do in your eyes, pretty much. And you guys will see it too when he's talking about it. But I know it hasn't always been like that, right? Because you had sort of a you almost quit trance like a couple of years ago, right?
I did, but don't get me wrong, that wasn't because I didn't fall out of love with the music. I fell out of love with producing. It got to a stage where I was in front of my computer, ready to punch the computer through. Honestly, anyone that makes their own tracks will know how hard it is, and not only it's financially difficult, it takes up all your time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting people to feel sorry for me. I'm just saying it's a hard skill to achieve, and I'm still learning. Like, people say my tracks are so good, like, don't get me wrong, not everyone, but people compliment me, and I find it hard to believe because even I don't rate my own tracks. But yeah, I nearly quit because it got to the point after about 4 years where I'd been working on what turned out to be Napalm Poet, and I could not get it right, and it just stressed me out to the point where I don't even think I listened to trance for about 6 months, which for me was a long time. And I was actually in America at the time, and I was on a coach, and I needed some music to listen to, and a John O'Callaghan mix popped up, and I thought, why not? I'm not listening to trance in a while. Put it on, and instantly everything just came back. And as soon as I got back to a hotel, bearing in mind I was on holiday, I was travelling America at the time, and I got back to a hotel and I was like, right, I need to produce. So I opened Logic and I carried on working on a track, and I carried on working on that track for about 2 weeks, and I actually finished the track in Canada. I was in Canada, and my good friend Alan Morrow, he said to me, I was telling him my frustrations, he said, you need to finish the track, stop trying to make it perfect, just finish it, and once you finish it, then try and mix it. And I finished the track, and I felt a relief, a massive relief that I'd finished the track. It didn't sound perfect at the time, but I'd finished the track for the first time in 3 years. In fact, it gave me some kind of confidence boost. And when I got back to England, I took a couple of weeks off. I bought some producing headphones, and I spent about 2 weeks really mixing it down. I got a lot of feedback off people, how to make it better, what needed changing. And yeah, that was Napalm Poet, but thank God I didn't quit. But I was never going to quit because it was always in my heart. But it just shows how frustrating it can be at times where you want something so much and your skills don't permit at the time, or maybe my confidence didn't permit. But yeah, I stuck at it, and that was the start of everything, I guess.
I'm happy you stuck at it at that point.
Me too. I was never going to give up fully because it was in my heart, like I say, but there was a point where I didn't want to produce anymore because I was absolutely sick of bad results. Or maybe there wasn't even bad results. Maybe to me there was. I reckon if I showed other people, it was probably a lot better than I thought. But I'm very self-critical, and I think a lot of good producers are very self-critical. And but yeah, I didn't quit, and we're here speaking about it now. That's all that matters.
If we're looking at the scene, like overall right now, like ghost producing, I know that's a delicate subject, but how important do you think it is for a producer or DJ to write 100% of their own material? Because I know that you do, right? Yeah,
I do, and I'm very proud about that, and I'm not going to deny that. I've worked extremely hard over the last 6 years to achieve that. I've had a lot of help of people. People we need to mention: Paul Todd, Alan Morrow. There's so many people that I don't want to miss anyone out, but there's a lot of people that have helped me out over the years. Chris Meddock from Med and Bamford, I'm not sure if you know them. No. A UK act. I've been unfortunately split up, but Med helped me out a lot. So I owe a lot to them, but yeah, I learned it all myself. But back to your question, it's a tricky subject. For me, as long as the producer writes the music, like if you get help, I can understand that. Like, for me, I respect people who write the music. I'll fully admit now that I don't really respect, and I'll not play people's music when I know they've just bought a track, gone to a producer, handed over some money, and bought a track. I'll not play their music because I've got no respect for them, because I see how hard I've worked and how hard others have worked. But I used to be really bitter about anyone using an engineer, but I learned to concentrate on myself rather than other people, and that is a nice bit of solid advice for anyone. Rather than worrying about other people, worry about yourself. It used to really annoy me that people would go out and get help off someone when I wasn't getting the quality I wanted. But instead of being bitter about it, I stopped worrying about that and I concentrated on myself. And I hope the results speak for himself. And now I'm not as bothered about it. I respect anyone that writes the music at the end of the day. If you need a bit of help for whatever reason, fair play to him. I hope I'd like to think that they'd like to learn to do it themselves, because the feeling you get when you play a track that you've done with no help whatsoever is like no other. When you get the reaction you get from Napalm Poet, for instance. Yeah. But yeah, used to be really bitter about it, and now I'm not bothered. I just concentrate on myself, and that's all I'm bothered about. Yeah,
it's a good view on everything as well, I guess. To concern about yourself.
Yeah, like I used to be really immature about these things. As I say, it used to really annoy me. I used to get annoyed at people that used engineers, and looking back, it's just like, why does it really matter? So I think I've grown up a lot in the last couple of years, and if you want to do well, worry about yourself, forget about everyone else, lock yourself in the studio, and just concentrate on your own music rather than worrying about what everyone else is doing, and that ultimately will push you further, in my opinion. Yeah, I used to have a bad view on it, but not anymore.